Hi, if you are an interior design professional, a student, or somebody with a keen interest in profession of interiors or as a subject, this video is for you. I am architect Gaurav Mathur and I am going to talk to you about site analysis and site data collection. Now, this is coming out of a lot of experience. You know, I've been practicing interiors for quite some time now, and hence I'm going to share my experience and give you certain checklist in the middle of my video, which is going to be very useful to you. So kindly see this video till the end, and there is some generic points that I'm going to give you at the end, which are again very important. They're out of our experience. You will not find them in any of the academic books probably. All right, so when you go to the site, it's an empty envelope all around, and you are actually observing a volume, which is in a very raw and unfinished format, and you are the one who's going to do the finishing of it. So you basically observe three things there. First is floor, then you have walls, and then you have ceiling. So these are three components that you have to observe when you go to the site to do the site analysis or to collect the data on the site, for your interiors. So it's important to understand the services first. So let me start with the electric. So it is important for you to know the conduit layout, as in how the layouts, how the conduits are running in the wall, because interior, as an interior designer, you're going to put a painting, you're going to create a niche, you're going to create some punches, you might have to nail somewhere. So if you're really clear with the conduit layout, it becomes very easy for you to do the treatment on the wall. Along with that, you have positions of switch and socket, in which you must take horizontal and vertical distance so that you know the exact location of that. Then you have the MCB box, you have the place for meter, you have certain provisions for the sensors, you have provisions for night light, and certain points which are going to be there on the ceiling. So in case if you're planning a false ceiling, you can use those points, or if you have to remove them, then accordingly you'll have to take a call. Then you should come to plumbing part. So when you talk of plumbing, you have water supply, and then the drain pipes which take the wastewater out, or it could be a soil waste which has to go out. So you need to understand the overall layout, so that it becomes easy for you to put the layouts in terms of the walls, and your hand faucet, and based on how the hot water cold water is moving, where the location of geyser is going to be, whether the plug is rightly installed or not. So you need to document all that, which is if it is existing on the site in case of plumbing. Then you have firefighting. Now that plays a very important role if you're especially talking about false ceiling. So there are three major things when you talk of firefighting. One is smoke detector, then you have sprinklers, and you have fire alarms. Now all these three are connected through the wires. The sprinkler is also connected to the water supply line. So if you look at the ceiling, you will see the pipes running through that. So now documenting that layout of the pipe, and also connections of the smoke detector and the other and the fire alarm is equally important, because when you do the false ceiling design, all these layouts will be coming in between, and you have to kind of camouflage this so that it works very well. Then you have some security systems nowadays. This could be your CCTV cameras, these could be some doorbells with the camera, these could be with some audio facility as well, then positions of your security alarms, and so on. So it is important for you to really understand how the circuit diagram is going on, where the DBR of the CCTV is going to get placed, because you'll ultimately have to hide if you're really doing good interiors. They can't be really in exposed. How the wiring for these CCTVs is running, where is going to be the position of the door bell camera, and so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is, whether it is plumbing, whether it is fire, whether it is electric, you need to understand the overall layout and the piping and conduiting. So it's the best if you knock the site before the plaster is done, so that you can really document them very nicely and properly. Then you have nowadays all these services are running through cat 6. So you have EPBX, you have internet, you have broadband, you have an extension to it, you have a router, you have certain other facilities. Nowadays a lot of people are doing smart homes. So you use cat 6, you have Alexa, and you have smart bulbs and whatnot. So there's a cabling, there's a cat 6 wire which has to run. So it is quite a detailed understanding that you need to have on the site, so that you really don't kind of redo the whole thing. If something on the site exists and you can use it as it is, I think that's a very, very win-win situation for you as well as for your client. Now there's another aspect now, which is gas supply. There are two parts in this. One is the supply, that is in terms of the cylinder. Of course, if there's a cylinder and it has to go to the kitchen, then somebody has to lift and put it there. But in case if there is the gas bank outside and the line is coming in, it is important for you to document, because nowadays you also cover this up. It's like a hollow covering of a ply or something like that, so that one can easily see. But these pipes are generally not advised to be packed in the walls. So they're generally more of exposed. So aesthetically you need to see how this line is coming, because it's going to be exposed. So you need to kind of treat this very, very intelligently. Then you have very important nowadays is air conditioning. Now there are n number of types of air conditioning, whether it's a wall mounted unit, it's a ceiling mounted unit, whether it's a VRV or a VRF. So you need to have an idea of the complete circuit of this, because if I go back and then you see you have on the ceiling, you have various other services which I mentioned, and then there is an AC ceiling unit as well. So you have a drain pipe, you have a air inlet pipe. So you need to integrate these with your design, and be very, very careful that none of them overlap or cross each other. So you have to do that very intelligently. But you can only do this if you have a very, very strong understanding of these subjects in terms of documentation also, and in terms of application also. So now here I am providing you a complete list. It's a kind of a broad short checklist for you, that when you go to the site, please carry these points with you. Once you do that, it will really help you. At least you're not going to forget these basic points for your design. Okay, now the technical part of the video more or less gets over here. Now I'm starting with very, very generic point, but this is very, very important. Now the checklist of this is going to come at the end of the video. So first thing is that when you look at the walls, you need to figure out the finish of the wall. You need to figure out whether the walls have been done rightly or not, what kind of treatment can be done on the wall. Because when you're going to do putty, or you're going to do POP on it, what kind of material application is going to be there in terms of to really level that out very nicely and all that. Then some places the door frames are fixed. So you need to figure out whether this is wood, or this is going to be some aluminium, this is going to be some other material, because now there's a lot of materials which are available in the market. So you need to document that, and also figure out whether they're going up with your interiors or not, whether you want to take them out and put some new frames or whatever you want to do it. But remember to document the door frames on the site, and also take their measurements in terms of the width and in terms of the both the directions, L by B if you have to say, and also the height. Sometimes the height is 6 feet 9 inches, sometimes it is 7 feet 3 inches, 7 feet 9 inches, whatever it is. So it becomes easy for you to understand that, because when you do the flooring, you lose 3 inches out of that. So it's important to take the height of the entrance doors as well, along with the door frames. Then other important thing is you must check the levels of the windows on the site, the sill level and the lintel level. Because if you don't do that, sometimes it has been observed that there is a difference of few inches, and when you do that, and there's a window which comes and gets installed, and he comes and takes the measurements, it becomes a little tricky thing at that point of time. So it's always better to check it, and if you want to do any correction there, and then you should be able to do that. Now the most important thing is accessibility of the site from the road. Because when you do your design and there is an execution that is going to happen, then you need to see how your raw material, or how your building material, or how your construction material is going to reach till the site. What is the accessibility of the site till the road? That's very important. Then when you talk further, accessibility from the gate to the site, whether the site is enough to keep the material there on the site or not. If not, then where are you going to keep the material? how much material can be stored, because sometimes you order so much in terms of you want to order the full thing to kind of save your transportation and cost, and you realize that you really can't keep it inside because the property is not that big, because big, because there is material of other vendors also there. So you have to be very calculative in terms of the space that is available. Then you need to see that what are the construction time, what is the construction permitted time on the site, because some sites you can't work beyond 8 p.m, somewhere you can't work beyond 10 in the night, and at some places, yes, you can work the whole. That's very, very important for you to understand, because it acts very important in terms of the material management. Last but very important again, I would say you must measure the staircase, because the riser, the tread, and the detail in which you want to fix the railing, are you really getting the space for this or not? In terms of the tread, in terms of the riser, if you're very clear with this, only then you'll be able to design this very nicely and properly, and you'll be able to use the material very correctly. So with that, I am giving you a complete generic checklist along with the technical checklist in this video, which is going to be very helpful to you. I look forward for your comments on the video, and please let me know what all videos do you need from us. We'll be happy to answer your questions and to come up with more videos. I also request you to kindly subscribe the channel. We are coming up with series of such videos. Thank you so much. Have a good day.